In the vast expanse of the 28th century cosmos, where the Drydus Confederation stretched its tendrils across stars and planets alike, the jungle planet Karra loomed as both a mystery and a beacon of potential. Aboard the Imperium Lance, orbiting this verdant world, Captain Marcus Aurelius Varro gathered his elite expeditionary force in the briefing room, a space bathed in the soft glow of holographic displays and the hum of advanced technology. "Team," Marcus began, his voice steady, betraying none of the anticipation that thrummed through his veins. "Our mission is to confirm intel on the presence of hostile natives on Karra. Reconnaissance drones have spotted what appear to be primitive settlements and armed inhabitants. Our goal is to assess the threat level and gather data for possible colonization." The team, handpicked for their expertise in alien environments and combat strategy, listened intently. They were a diverse group, from seasoned soldiers in lightweight armor to scientists equipped with the latest in bio-scanning tech, all united by a common purpose under the banner of the Confederation. Karra itself was a planet of contrasts, its dense, steamy jungles teeming with unknown flora and fauna, unseen by human eyes until now. The planet's canopy, a tapestry of green so vibrant it seemed almost unnatural, stretched endlessly below them, hiding secrets and dangers in its depths. As the briefing concluded, the team prepared for planetfall, checking weapons and equipment, their actions methodical, the result of countless drills. The dropship, a sleek vessel designed for rapid entry and exit, stood ready in the hangar bay, its hull gleaming under the artificial lights. The descent to Karra was a journey from the heights of civilization to the untamed wilds of a world untouched by the Confederation's reach. The dropship pierced the planet's atmosphere, its shields flickering against the heat of re-entry, before emerging into the clear sky above the jungle. Below them, Karra awaited, a world of mystery and danger. Landing in a clearing, the team disembarked, the humid air of Karra enveloping them, thick with the sense of alien vegetation. Marcus led the way, his senses alert to every sound and movement in the dense undergrowth. The jungle was alive with the calls of unseen creatures, a symphony of the alien wilderness. As they ventured deeper, the signs of the native inhabitants became increasingly apparent. Primitive traps, ingeniously crafted from the jungle's resources, lay hidden among the foliage, a stark reminder of the planet's occupants' wariness or hostility towards intruders. The distant sound of drums, barely audible over the jungle's chorus, sent a shiver down Marcus's spine. It was a sound that spoke of ancient rituals and a people untouched by the galaxy's technological advancements, yet it also hinted at organization and a deep connection to the land they called home. The team's advance was slow, hindered by the dense vegetation and the need for caution. Every shadow seemed to move, every rustle of leaves a potential threat. But it was not until they stumbled upon the ruins, ancient stone structures that rose from the jungle floor, like the bones of a forgotten civilization, that they realized how deep into the unknown they had ventured. It was here, among the echoes of a past long vanished, that Marcus felt the full weight of their mission. They were explorers on the edge of the known universe, standing at the threshold of discovery and conflict, their every action a step into the untold stories of Karra. As the team prepared to establish a temporary camp within sight of the ruins, Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The jungle, for all its beauty, held a menace just beyond sight, a reminder that they were not the masters of this world, but mere visitors in a land that did not welcome them. The night fell swiftly on Karra, the darkness complete, the sounds of the jungle intensifying in the absence of light. As Marcus settled in for the night, his thoughts were on the mission ahead, unaware that the dawn would bring with it a challenge that would test them all to their limits. In the dense, steamy jungles of Karra, Captain Marcus Aurelius Varro and his expeditionary force ventured deeper into the heart of the unknown. The jungle was a world unto itself, a living, breathing entity that seemed to watch their every move with unseen eyes. The team, equipped with the finest gear the Confederation could provide, moved with cautious steps, their senses attuned to the slightest whisper of danger. The flora of Karra was a marvel of nature, an explosion of colors and forms that defied imagination. Towering trees with bark as hard as steel and leaves that shimmered with a metallic sheen reached for the sky, their canopies casting the jungle floor into perpetual twilight. Luminous fungi carpeted the ground, casting an eerie glow that illuminated their path, while vines thick as a man's arms snaked through the underbrush, occasionally quivering as if in response to their presence. Marcus couldn't help but be fascinated by the alien environment, his mind racing with thoughts of what new discoveries lay hidden in the verdant depths. His fascination, however, was tempered by the knowledge of the dangers that lurked within. The drones had not been able to penetrate the dense canopy, leaving them blind to what awaited them on the ground. As they progressed, the signs of the alien tribes became increasingly apparent. Primitive traps, cleverly disguised among the underbrush, spoke of a people adept at using the jungle to their advantage. Marcus ordered a halt, examining one such trap, a pitfall covered with a thin layer of leaves and branches, barely noticeable until almost upon it. "Stay sharp," he cautioned, his voice barely above a whisper. "We're not alone." The distant sounds of drums, rhythmic and haunting, began to filter through the jungle, the beats slow and deliberate, echoing through the trees like the heartbeat of Karra itself. The scouts exchanged uneasy glances, the realization dawning on them that they were being watched, the drumbeats perhaps a signal or a warning. Fleeting shadows among the trees hinted at the presence of their observers. Every so often, a figure would dart between the trunks, too quick to be clearly seen, but unmistakably there. Despite their advanced gear and weaponry, the scouts felt a creeping unease, the jungle seemingly closing in around them, the eyes of its inhabitants weighing heavily upon them. Marcus ordered the team to form a defensive circle, their backs to each other as they scanned the surrounding jungle. "We're not here to engage unless necessary," he reminded them, his hand resting on the hilt of his energy sword, the hum of its activation a comforting sound amidst the oppressive silence. The standoff continued for long moments, the only sounds the distant drums and the occasional rustle of foliage. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the tension broke. The jungle around them seemed to exhale, the shadows retreating, leaving the team alone once more. Marcus signaled the all clear, but the encounter had left its mark. The realization that they were not the apex predators on Karra, that the jungle and its inhabitants commanded a respect that their technology could not override, was a sobering thought. As they made camp for the night, the team remained vigilant, the fires casting long shadows into the jungle that surrounded them. The encounter with the unseen watchers of Karra was a clear message they were treading on sacred ground, and their presence was not welcomed. The mission had taken on a new dimension, not just a reconnaissance but a test of their ability to navigate the delicate balance between exploration and intrusion. In the flickering light of the campfire, Marcus pondered their next move, knowing that the eyes of Karra were upon them, waiting to see what the dawn would bring. The Imperium Lance Expeditionary Team, led by Captain Marcus Aurelius Varro, had trekked deeper into the heart of Karra, guided by the pulsing life of the jungle and the mysteries it held. The dense canopy above filtered the sunlight into a kaleidoscope of greens and golds, casting the ancient ruins they discovered in an ethereal glow. These ruins, a complex network of stone and vine, stood as silent sentinels to a bygone era, their origins and purpose lost to time. The team fanned out to investigate, the scientists among them buzzing with excitement at the prospect of unraveling the secrets of Karra's past. The ruins were a strategic point of interest, potentially holding keys to understanding the planet's history and the alien tribes rumored to inhabit its jungles. As they delved into their examination, the quiet hum of activity was abruptly shattered by the twang of bowstrings and the whistle of spears cutting through the air. The ambush was sudden and ferocious, a storm of primitive but deadly weapons unleashed with surprising organization and accuracy. The alien tribes of Karra, hidden watchers of the jungle, emerged from the shadows with a battle cry that resonated through the ancient stones. They were numerous, their bodies painted with the colors of the forest, blending into the environment with an ease that spoke of generations spent as its guardians. Marcus and his team were taken aback by the onslaught, the initial shock of the attack scattering their formation. They returned fire with their advanced weaponry, the blasts of energy rifles tearing through the foliage. But the aliens were swift, using the jungle to their advantage. They moved with a grace and speed that made them difficult targets, their knowledge of the terrain allowing them to strike and vanish like ghosts. The clearing became a battlefield, the air filled with the sounds of combat, the clash of metal, the cries of the wounded, and the relentless, haunting rhythm of Karra's heartbeats echoing in the drums of the attacking tribes. Despite their technological superiority, the scouts found themselves overwhelmed by the sheer number of their assailants and the cunning of their tactics. Spears, tipped with a substance that burned and poisoned, found their marks with lethal efficiency, claiming the lives of several scouts in the first moments of the ambush. Marcus, rallying his remaining team, called for a tactical withdrawal, their position untenable. The ruins, once a site of scientific interest, had become a death trap, the open spaces around them offering no cover against the barrage of spears and arrows. The retreat was harrowing, the team forced to navigate the treacherous jungle under constant pursuit. Marcus covered their escape, his energy sword humming as he deflected incoming projectiles, a rearguard action that bought precious seconds for his team. As they finally broke free from the immediate grasp of their attackers, regrouping at a predetermined rendezvous point, the toll of the ambush was painfully clear. The team had suffered losses, the faces of those who had fallen etched into the survivors' memories. Their equipment bore the scars of battle, and their spirits were weighed down by the realization of the aliens' ferocity and their willingness to protect their home at all costs. The survivors, battered and bruised, took a moment to catch their breath, the sounds of the jungle resuming its chorus around them, indifferent to the violence that had transpired. Marcus, his resolve hardened by the encounter, knew that their mission had taken on a new urgency. Karra was not the untouched paradise they had imagined, but a world fiercely defended by its inhabitants, a fact that would have significant implications for the Confederation's plans. As they prepared to make their way back to the Imperium Lance, the weight of their report and the recommendations that would follow hung heavily in the air. The ambush had not just been an attack, it was a declaration that Karra would not be claimed without a fight. Under the canopy of Karra's dense jungle, the Imperium Lance Expeditionary Team, led by Captain Marcus Aurelius Varro, made a solemn retreat back to their landing craft. The journey was marked not by the sounds of the vibrant alien wildlife or the rustling of the lush foliage, but by the heavy silence of a group mourning their fallen. Each step away from the ambush site was a step weighted with loss and the haunting echoes of what had transpired in the ancient ruins. The makeshift camp, once a hub of scientific curiosity and military efficiency, now served as a somber gathering point for the survivors. They moved with a mechanical precision, packing up equipment and tending to the wounded, their actions a facade of normalcy over the turmoil that churned within. Aboard the Imperium Lance, orbiting high above Karra, the atmosphere was heavy with anticipation of the debriefing. Captain Varro, his armor scuffed and his face etched with the weariness of command, stood before the assembled officers and Emperor Julius Franco's holographic presence. The Emperor's stern visage belied a keen interest in the outcome of the mission, his eyes fixed on Varro as the captain began his report. "The intelligence we had on Karra was incomplete," Varro started, his voice steady but tinged with a deep-seated frustration. "The alien tribes. They're organized, numerous, and fiercely protective of their world. They possess a knowledge of the terrain and guerrilla tactics that turned what we expected to be a straightforward reconnaissance into a fight for survival." The room was silent, the gravity of Varro's words settling over the officers like a shroud. He continued, detailing the ambush, the losses they suffered, and the strategic withdrawal that saved what remained of his team. The images projected behind him, showing the intensity of the battle and the final moments of those who had fallen, served as a stark reminder of the mission's cost. "The threat posed by the alien tribes cannot be ignored," Varro concluded, his gaze meeting the Emperor's. "Karra is rich in resources and strategically valuable to the Confederation. But securing it It would require an all-out attack to eliminate the native resistance. A murmur rippled through the room, the implications of Varro's recommendation hanging heavily in the air. Emperor Franco, his expression contemplative, nodded slowly. "Your report will be considered, Captain Varro. The loss of your men will not be in vain. We will deliberate on the best course of action for Karra and the Confederation." As the meeting adjourned, the officers filed out, leaving Varro alone with his thoughts. The debriefing, though necessary, had reopened wounds that had barely begun to heal. The emotional and psychological toll of the ambush was a burden he would carry, a constant reminder of the cost of exploration and the price of expanding an empire. The Imperium Lance's journey back to Drydus was marked by reflection, both personal and collective. The encounter on Karra had revealed not just the physical challenges of dealing with a technologically inferior but fiercely independent species, but also the moral and ethical considerations of such conflicts. The decision to pursue an all-out attack, to secure Karra at the cost of its native inhabitants, was a testament to the complexities of empire building and the sacrifices demanded in the name of progress. As Karra faded into the star-studded backdrop of space, Captain Marcus Aurelius Varro couldn't shake the feeling that the mission's true resolution remained elusive, its consequences echoing far beyond the confines of a debriefing room. The story of Karra, and the choices that would shape its future, was far from over, a chapter yet to be written in the annals of the Drydus Confederation. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, please be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Feel free to check out either of the videos linked here as well.